Thank you everyone for joining us today here at Levittown Public Library's posture alignment class with Kimberly. Today is December 19th, around 11 a.m. Go ahead, Kim.
Thank you, Hitomi. Thanks everybody again. We are going to be using 2 blocks today, 1 strap. So many of you have had quite a shift from doing the modified floor block that you said that's the one that you want to do in place of static back because it has created such a change, mostly via the hips, even though it is quite a strong shoulder move. So I'm going to give you guys the opportunity to do that instead of static back if you'd like to. Everybody good out there in library land? Static back, I guess, is cool for you guys because that's where you are, right? There's plenty of blocks up here because we have a small class. So my intentions today are to do some stuff we haven't done before, including some wall stuff, because we got plenty of wall space right over there so that we can at least use that. Here, Paula, if you'd like. Absolutely. Oh, sure, straps too. So I'm encouraging you guys for the first 5 minutes, if you'd like to do modified floor block. We did that a few weeks ago. I will show you again what it looks like. And if you do have any shoulder issues, modified floor block doesn't feel quite so good to you, you can do modified floor block without the blocks. So when I had a shoulder issue, I was just laying on the floor like so. So if you can kind of picture looking through the bottom floor to me, this is our modified floor block. We lay face down on the floor with our elbows at 90 degrees. Try and get that straight line from the elbow all the way across. And if you are feeling good enough, you might take 2 pillows, try to get equal size, or blocks if you have these, and you'll be propping your forearms up. So that's where this modified floor block really comes into play. You're putting these blocks underneath your forearms. And what that's doing is it's actually getting both of your shoulders to come up towards the ceiling. So there's a retraction going on. It's bringing the upper back into extension. So again, this is not a move for everybody. If this hurts your shoulders, you can certainly take a static back for the first 5 minutes, or you can even lay in frog. A lot of people like to open up with frog position. So here's our static back. It's where we lay on the back and you put your legs up on the chair. And there's our static back. So we're going to spend like 5 to 6 minutes here in whichever pose you decide feels good. And again, if you do choose to do that modified floor block, the position of the legs is this. We're inwardly rotating from both hips. So the big toes touch and the heels drop out. You might get some cramping from that. I'm sure Denise out there, if she's rewatching this, she might get some of those foot cramps that she always gets. But try and get the toes to come in. So it's a pigeon-toed, and then the heels drop out. I'm sure some of you remember why we do that pigeon-toed move. And I'll just reiterate it. When both of the hips come into internal rotation, it grabs both sides of the pelvis in a way that helps to pull it into more of an anterior tilt. And even if your pelvis loves to go anterior and you kind of walk around, you got the butt out and a real big sway back thing going on, even if that happens to you, modified floor block is still an okay move because you're being trapped by the floor. So you're not going to be going so far to the point where that sway back is going to become painful. But like I always say, you want to listen to your body. So if something is painful, I don't live in your body. If something hurts you in the bad way, please stop doing it. I don't know everything, which is why I listen to you guys a whole lot. When you guys ask me questions, you might notice I'll pause rather than tell you straight off the bat, no. I'll pause and I'll think about it and go, how can this be right? And then maybe we'll have a conversation about it because there's plenty of crap I don't know. Here's something else one of my students told me when I worked in Synergy. Her shoulders actually started to come down toward the floor, so they were pitching. up. So that glenohumeral joint started to pitch forward while she laid in this position. So what she did was she took the blocks and she stuffed them right underneath her actual shoulder joint. So if you're getting that feeling that when you're putting your arms up, the shoulder is still pitching forward, it might feel good to you to put the block underneath your shoulder joint. And we had so many blocks there in that facility. I gave her 4 blocks. We put one under her shoulder, one under her arm, everything to trap her upper body into this more extended position. So I've got plenty of blocks up here today. Like I said, we have a small class. If you guys want more blocks, I'll toss them to you. All right, Marie, you can walk up here and grab some.
I just need one.
Okay. I'm going to stay here for about maybe 3 or 4 more minutes. Okay. Yes. Oh, that was a good point. So, so she was asking, is our face kind of smushed into the floor? Yes, because what you want when you do this move, you want your neck and your face to be still in a fairly neutral position. So we don't want to turn to one side and turn to the other. If you really have to, it's not going to kill you. But when I do this position at home, I'm kind of suffocating by my carpet. So I'll take my socks or something and roll it up and put it underneath my forehead. So it actually lifts my nose out of the carpet and gives me space to breathe. The other thing you could do is take a sheet of paper and you could put, right? Yeah, could do that. So she's using one of the belts, one of the wraps. So anything you can take, put right underneath your forehead, and that'll at least give you space to breathe while you're in this modified floor block. Wonderful. I'm glad you think it feels good. Not everybody feels good in the modified floor block. When I do it, I don't feel much at all, but I stay in it for 10 minutes. That's how long it takes for my body to start shifting. And really that's about how long you wanna give to this move, 6 to 10 minutes. Why not go for the 10? So if it's not hurting you, I would recommend staying in it for 10 minutes. So if this is a move that you take home with you, give it a 10-minute shot. There's a cool thing that this move does through the erector spinae. Now, those are the muscles that run along either side of your spine, and they're like stacks of hot dogs. They run all the way up towards the neck and all the way down through to the lower back. So when I was doing this therapy and taking trips to California just to work with the therapists there, they would have people there all the time at the clinic. So we'd be able to see what this move does to different postures, and we would palpate and stick our fingers in the backs of people. And usually we would find one side of the back along the erector spinae is completely flat, and the other side was just, like I said, like rows of hot dogs. And after 10 minutes in a move like this, it causes the erector spinae to just let go and release and become more balanced, which is why it affects the shoulders, why it affects your lower back, why it affects your pelvis, why it affects your hips. So this is a wonderful move. I like it a lot. I don't do it often enough. I should, but I don't. I'm just like you. I find excuses to not do what I'm supposed to do. And then pain comes and smacks you and gives you that motivation, right? It hurts so bad, you get down on the floor and you finally do that static back. Somebody else just snuck in. Sure, I get them. The last week we didn't get around to it because I ran out of time and I like to talk too much. I would like to do some kneeling exercises today so you get what is going to happen to your body when you trap the body in a kneeling position. Some of you can do it, some of you can't do it. I'll give you modifications. And we're going to use that wall today. So if you guys have stuff against the wall, maybe move it off the wall, because we're going to move towards the wall and use some stuff. It's a fairly small class, so we're going to do a little wall stuff. We're going to finish up in this move. No more static back, no more modified floor block. We're going to start to come out of it. I'm going to have you guys come to, let's do some stretches, even though you know they're not stretches. We'll do some upper spinal floor twist, some pullovers from frog, things like that. I'm going to have everybody flip over and come off of your belly, come onto your back. Let's do some knee drops just to start. And then I'm feeling some frog pullovers. And like I said, we're going to be using that wall. So if you got some stuff over there, after all our floor stuff, I'd like to take everybody over to the wall so we can do some things. It's not going to be big, wide open stuff. None of those. Going to be other trapping moves. So I'm going to take you guys to this position that we like to call hook lying. We're going to go for some knee drops. Just give me a set of 20. Try to keep your feet pointed straight ahead. We're going parallel. So I don't care if your feet are narrow or if your feet are wide. Just keep your feet parallel. There's also a tendency as you do the knee drops for your butt to start sliding towards your heels. So make sure you're resetting every 10 reps or so. Now, there was another way that a therapist told me how to do this as well. And these are just little nuances that might work or change something for you. He taught me, instead of dropping both of the knees at the same time and twisting through the hips, do something that's kind of like drop, 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 drop. So the one leg pulls the other one over, bump, bump. And now I'm opening almost to a frog. And once you start feeling that tension, it's already going to pull the other side over into a drop. Frog, drop, drop. Frog, drop, drop. And that might be beneficial to you, maybe, maybe not, but that's how he was doing it. And remember, the effort here shouldn't be crazy high, but there should be some effort here. This isn't just, oh, how nice, I just dropped my knees, that feels good. You want to try to reach the floor with your knees. But there's a lot of twisting happening through the midsection, so don't try to hold that in place, because as you try to reach the floor with your knees, you're probably going to start feeling something towards that medial side, the inside of the knee, if you don't let your whole body twist. The only thing I want you to think about keeping on the floor is really your shoulders. Your feet are still touching, but it's this inner outer thing. There's a lot of twisting going on here. Good. I'm going to take you into upper spinal floor twist next. Can't do upper spinal floor twist. You could always do this sitting in a chair. Even the knee drops, you can do that sitting in a chair. You don't have to be on the floor. So I'm going to lay on my left side and we're going to open up the right arm. You guys know how this one goes. Keep your knees stacked. Keep your ankles stacked. Everything stays in this beautiful stack. Hold that stack and twist open. The purpose of this move is to reteach your upper spine, that's why it's called upper spinal floor twist, how to twist, bad word, independently of the rest of the body. Nothing is independent, you know that, but that's the best word I can give you to help describe this. So we're trapping the whole body in one spot and opening up the arm, upper back. Keep your wrist in line with your elbow, in line with your shoulders, in line with the opposite shoulder. So don't want that hand to start gliding its way towards your butt. Once that happens, just like I explained earlier, that glenohumeral joint, the shoulder, is going to start to tent upward, and we're going to lose all of that work that we're looking for. Shoulder hurts in this position. You could rest your hand on your chest. It's a lot of leverage to put in this area, especially if you're coming off of an injury. You might even have to skip this move. Perfect world, this arm is going to be laying on the floor, so let that stretch happen until the arm is laying on the floor. That's what we're going for. Switching to the other side. Everybody ready? Good, me too. One minute is enough for this, but for, you know what, for all of these moves, all those minute-long moves, Try them for 3 minutes and watch what unfolds. This side's my tough side. My shoulder's fairly stuck. It does not still want to recruit the correct muscles in order to take it through full movement. So I do cheat on this side. I let my knees slip a little bit because otherwise my arm would be straight up in the air and gravity wouldn't be pulling on it the way I want it to. So I'm sure you guys can get creative enough to get this sense of what you want accomplished here. So I do let my knees slip just enough so I could feel gravity start to pull on my arm and start to twist my body in the direction that I want it to go. Does that make sense? Coming out. Right, let's do a bilateral move, get into frog position, please. We're going to go for frog pullovers. So the soles of the feet touch and the knees drop out to the side. Arms straight up to the sky, elbows are nice and straight. I'm going to drop back, overhead behind you, and back over the chest. Let's go through this for about 2 minutes. Three sets of 10 are usually cool for this one, but I do so much talking. I'm not counting you guys through this. It's not going to kill you to do 40, 50. It won't kill you to do 2 either. Remember, even though the floor is the goal, that doesn't mean you reach the floor by any means. So no cheating. Form is more important. Keep your elbows straight. Okay. Guys, keep going. There is a way to mimic the wall by putting this chair here. Now this chair isn't going to move. So he has an opportunity to just place the feet here
On the chair.
and mimic the wall. And mimic the wall. So if he wants to give that a shot, certainly can. You could help him with that rather than getting up, moving all the way over there.
Okay.
I ask you if you guys do any of the wall stuff. Socks, please. I don't want the library coming down hard on me. Even though we're not on the white wall, but socks, please. And if you take a look over here in the corner, so we have to mimic the wall over here. So I've just put a chair up against the wall is what I did. So then the feet can go there as well. So if you don't have a wall, even at home, I've done this at home because I don't always have a wall. A door can be helpful, but I will push a chair in an area and I can usually get my feet to trap on the chair. And I could have my feet on the chair and I could get these exercises done as well. So it is bent a little bit closer than a 90-degree angle, yes, but it'll still function. So we're going to do some wall stuff next. We're going to do not inner outer thighs, adduction, abduction, but I want you guys to trap on the wall or trap on your chair like we did in that corner over there. So that's our next move. So we're trapping. Perfect world, you want to get that 90-degree angle. So it doesn't matter to me where you trap, whether you use your chair, you stick the chair there, but if you are going to go directly to the wall, please, socks only. Socks only. Guys, just because I used the chair doesn't mean you have to put the chair on the wall. Did you follow? I know there's that psychology of instructor did this, so we must do it. So the chair doesn't have to go on the wall. I can't show them a wall move from the side. I don't have a wall here. Does that make sense? So pretend this is the wall. No, no, you got it. Yeah. Yes. Hi. Yeah. Right, but socks only. And if you got shoes, then do the chair method. Chair method. Everybody good? So we're down on the ground, everybody. We're on the ground. And, oh, good. I got a little more wall here. So we're going to pretend this is my wall. So my feet are trapped on the wall. We're trapping that 90 degrees. And what we're doing is we're going to drop open and closed. Open and closed. So that's what's going on with the hips, is a drop open and closed. Beautiful socks. They look so cozy. Try to touch the knees together when you do this. So when you come in, yes, very good. Hang on a second, everybody. I'll give you a cue in a moment. All right, everybody. So now that we've all gotten in this position, I want you to think about the feet staying flat on the wall, but when you drop open, right, you're going to come to the outside edges of the feet, correct? Right. So when that happens, you want to keep your feet parallel. There's this tendency for the feet to evert. Keep them parallel. And I know if Denise is watching at home or afterwards, she's going to start getting a foot cramp here. And she's so there are foot cramps that are going to happen here. If you get a foot cramp, good for you. Drop open. Denise, take a look at your right leg and then look at your left. Yes, so balance that out. Your right foot is way lower than your left. I would walk both feet up about 2 inches right there. Now walk both of your feet to the left. Right there. Continue. Little different, right? Man, were you twisted.
Everybody.
Man, were you twisted.
And everybody was like, I don't know about Gloria, but the other two supposedly were sick. Oh,
Yeah,
no.
that's it. Yeah, the library told me they called the library and they let the library know. Good, guys. Interesting one, right? Drop open and close. And if you wanted to, you could get your butt closer to that wall. So you want to trap at 90 degrees. 90 degrees. Beautiful. You're looking good. Yeah, you're looking great. You're looking great. I do the same thing. I think my heels are the same height as my knees, and they're totally not. So drop your hip right there, right there. It's going to feel a little different, but those couple of inches make a big difference. Excellent, guys. Excellent. So Carol, in the back, the next move that we're going to do, it might require moving that chair a little closer onto the mat so it doesn't slide. Okay, just letting you know, I don't want that sucker to slide on you. Our next move is hip lift, but we're going to use the wall as an assist. So it's not as hard as the one that we've been doing. Remember that when we do the hip lift where both legs are in the air, the ankles crossed over, and you sit there in this push-pull for a minute and you all curse me? We're going to do this with an assist. So at this point, we're going to cross the right ankle to the left knee. I know that's going to be a little tough. You might have to use your hands and twist it. But what I want you to do is remember where your pelvis was when both of your feet were on the wall. So I don't want you to have to twerk and twist your body just to get the ankle on the knee. You want to try to keep your pelvis right where it was when both of your feet were on the wall. So fairly neutral. The ankle to knee. And then using the muscles around your hip, draw your right knee towards the wall. Try not to contort your body and twist all around. We want to stay right where we were in that funky static back position. We want only the hip to be doing that work. And don't twist over to the side. It's not a hip crossover stretch. Stay right there. Draw your right knee away from you towards the wall. Touch your right knee with your right hand. Correct. If you were to push your right knee into the wall from there using your hand, now don't use your hand, use your hip muscles. That's it. That's the move. You still seem confused. Good, Paula. Hand off knee if you can. I want you to use your hip muscles to do that. Draw this knee to the wall using your hip muscles. That's it. Not your hand, your hip muscles. That's it. So keep drawing it to the wall. Feel the work. Don't try to use your back or your shoulders or anything. 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, done on this side, everybody. Keep pushing into my hand. Good girl. Switch. Right? It feels different on the other side, doesn't it? You okay, Carol? Okay. Yes, one's a toughie.
What is this good for?
Nothing. It's absolutely good for nothing. What is this good for? Nothing. Pissing everybody off. Try not to use your hands on this. I just gave her that cue because she was getting confused with the move. We really, you're right. It feels different from left side to right side. And some of you won't be able to get it at all. You can't get the ankle on the knee. It's just not working. So maybe you'll have to come further away from the wall to do it, or do this from the hook lying position. Can do that too. Can do that too. We've done that before. 30 seconds. You okay, Tara? Good. Remember, the ankle should, in a perfect world, be on the knee, not on top of the shin, not on top of the front of your knee. We want to trap the ankle in place. So it should be almost like on the top of your thigh. That's where we're going for that. And 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, done. Very nice, everybody. If you are okay, we're going to do straight up, legs up, wall. So this is a toughie for you guys with the chairs. It's going to be harder. It's going to be harder, but the legs have to be straight. And that's the kicker here. So if some of you, you can squeeze up against the wall. So if some of you, you've got your chair, right? If you notice that when you go straight up, and you got, that's how I do. I lay on the side, I walk my butt, and then I put my legs in the air. Okay. Got it, girl. So when you notice that you do what I just demonstrated, that your butt actually comes up off the floor and the backs of your legs are real tight, it's because your pelvis is out of alignment. So you got to back up enough so that your butt hits the floor. So some of you guys might be a good 1.5 feet away from the wall or your chair. You can't do legs straight up. That's it. That's it. Ready for the rest of it? The rest of it is ankles dorsiflexed hard and thighs tight. Good luck. 3 minutes. That's it. I'm sorry, it's pulling your ankles, your toes towards you. No Barbie feet, no ballerina. So Carol, for you, it's okay to do something like this. Yeah. So can you guys in the back see? Let me pull my chair over here for you. So for you guys, it's okay to do something. It's almost like a static back, but we're straightening the legs, something like this. Okay. You see Elena, see what she's doing? Now, Elena, turn on the legs, pull your toes towards you, hold that, knees straight, lock them out. Continue. Yeah, and you absolutely may. How many of you feel it in calves? How many of you feel it creeping up to your butt? Good. Denise, walk your legs to the left. There's a lot of twist going on with you. In fact, yeah, it should feel good. Walk your shoulders to the left a bit. Right there. Not your butt, just your shoulders. Good. Open up your legs just a little bit wider, hip distance. Pull dorsiflex. Hold. 1 minute and 20 seconds left. In a perfect world, the legs are hip distance. This one stinks, huh? Hard.
Yes, it's
Hard work. It is very
I
hard.
hope my feet are clean.
They smell clean. They smell clean to me. Dorsiflex the ankles. And when you do that dorsiflexion, it's going to force your knees to come into full extension, which is going to force all of this leverage into the hip where we're looking. That's what we're looking for. 50 seconds. This is the easier version of that 5-minute long one that I had you do, sitting floor. This one where we just sat in the L position. This is the easier version. You're welcome. There's plenty of other stuff you can do in this position, hamstring glides. We've done femur rotations in this position, which unfortunately we can't do because we don't have the space. Some of you are on a chair, so that's going to make it a little weird. There's plenty of stuff we could do here. You can even do pullovers in this position, reverse presses in this position, all sorts of things you could think of with your arms you can do from this trapped position. See what it does to your body. Coming out. Good job back there. You did the hardest version ever in this position, ever. She held that the whole time without trapping against anything. She was just in the air. We're going to come out of this, everybody. Everybody okay? Good. And thinking, what else can we do on the wall? And you're not going to like it, but we're going to do it. Okay, we're going to stand up. And we're going to do some trapping on the wall using the arms, and then we're going to do some kneeling exercises and trap on the wall that way. You're not going to like it. I will give you alternatives. So 2 of the moves are pretty nice, trapping on the wall. They're nice ones. I like them. A lot of my clients like them. One of them is forearm stretch. So when we come to the wall, pretend you guys in TV land are looking through the wall at me. My feet are straight ahead. I'm a forearms distance away from the wall. I'm trying to get a 90-degree bend in my elbows and in my wrists, but that's not going to work for everybody. So if it hurts you in your wrists when you do this, you can lower your hands and that'll get less of a bend, but we still want to trap against the wall to get the shoulders to come back and down. Very good up there, Terry. Very good. So here's the point of this move. I do not want you guys to be leaning forward. I do not want the wall to push you away. I want you to basically be standing upright of your own power. So if you're standing and you do this with your hands and you're not touching the wall, take a little bit of a step closer to the wall because I want you to be upright when you do this move. Elbows are bent to 90 degrees. So Carol, if you can bend your elbows. Yes, and walk closer if you need to. Good question. She asked if the elbows are going to be touching your bodies, and I would say yes. We want to keep that 90 degree, but here's the other kicker. When you lean in, I want your shoulders to go back and down. So it's almost like a static extension position, the one that the other Denise hates so much. So try not to hug your shoulders up. We just want to trap the shoulders back and down. It's like a reverse press going on for a whole minute. There's a tendency to cheat here and bail your hips forward. Don't do it. So keep your hips nice and square, just as they would be if you were just standing here. And that's it. This is forearm stretch. Got about 30 seconds left. Oh, I thought you were hiking your shoulder up. It was just, it was just this piece.
I can't get my hands flat on the wall.
Yeah, it's tough. This thing is really shoulders back and down. Good. 20 seconds left. Yeah, I know that lip is making things a little bit more difficult than it needs to be, but straightest legs you can muster. And Elena, straight feet. Everyone, straight feet. 10 seconds. Next move, you may love, and you're definitely going to need a wall or a door to do it. Doing the stuff against the, what would we call that? The gangway, the gangway over there ain't going to cut it. 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, come on out. Okay. Well, for this next move, we're going to have to go chest height. So it's all right to come over to the wall. There is wall space there as well. So this chest height move, I'm going to show you guys in TV land. So what I want you to think about is the center of the room and which leg is closest to the center of the room. So that's how we're going to do it. So whichever leg is closest to the center of the room, that's the one you're going to put forward. So I'm going to go my right, and it's going to be different for you guys on the left and the right because you're going to want to face me to see what the heck I'm doing. So think about, that's why I cued it that way. Whichever leg is towards the center of the room, we're going to stick that one forward. That's a good question. So Terry asked, how far away from the wall are we? Because you don't want to get all set up and then go, oh, darn. So we're, again, about a forearm's distance away from the wall, because what we're going to do is turn towards the wall in this trap position and put the hands about between nipple and neck height. So it's a little bit higher than your shoulders, but we're getting into this like push-up position. It's almost like neck height. So we're going to trap one shoulder blade at a time now. So everybody's looking good over here. The leg towards the center of the room is in the front, looking fantastic. You're now going to turn your chest towards the wall and place the hands on the wall and hold there for 1 minute. So we're close enough so that you're in that position of almost a mid-depth push-up. 1 minute. No, you're going to have quite a twist in your hips. I don't think there's any way you can keep your hips straight. Judging by what I saw with that upper spinal floor twist from you guys, nobody's arm can hit that floor yet. Both of you ladies, left leg forward. Heel touches toe. Turn towards the wall. Place your hands on the wall the same height as each other, about neck height. Hold. Right? How many of you feel it in your hips? How many of you feel it in one shoulder blade? Walk closer to the wall. Yes. Closer, closer.
More? I got a garbage pail here. Oh.
Walk closer. You got it. Good.
Okay.
Feel it?
Yeah.
Good.
You know when I feel it more? Waist.
Time. Can you switch? Can everybody switch? So Paula, because you chose that really narrow
Okay.
one, we can't go as wide.
Okay.
So give it a shot over here and go nice and wide. You'll feel a difference. Yep. Right foot in front. I would walk a little closer to the wall. Yeah, right there. Now go heel to toe. There. Left foot, put the toes on the heel.
Oh, same.
No, no, no.
Oh.
Toes to heel. It's okay. This toe
So,
to your heel.
to that heel.
Yes. So get that like it's like on a nice. I know that's a toughie. That's a toughie.
And I felt this one.
Right. There you go. Now we're in. There's your twist.
Thank you.
Everybody good? You're very welcome. You got this, Terry. You're all over it. She's all over this. Denise, go wider with your hands if you can. Maybe even walk a little closer to the wall. Yeah, get in there. Get in there, girl. Right there. Try that there. Try that there. Nice and wide like a push-up. Spread your fingers. Yeah. There you go. Feel different?
Yes, I feel different. Definitely.
20 seconds. You okay, Carol?
Yeah.
It's all right to twist. It's okay to twist. It's all right. Yeah, it's all right to twist because once you do that, now
No,
that
well,
you're right,
yeah,
it feels a little different.
different.
You want it to be as if you were going to do a push-up on the wall. So turn your boobs, chest, whatever you got towards that wall. 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, done. That was standing wall twist. Right? Feels a little weird. How many of you like that one? I like that one too. After I do that, my arm can go whoop, and it feels much better. So I know it has a lot to do with this, but also has a lot to do with my hip. It just doesn't stay for long. Still working on it. Okay, come on off. I'm going to do some more stuff towards the floor, and we're going to do some kneeling stuff. I am not going to give you the move that I was just going to give you against the wall because you'll hate me. I was going to give you kneeling Aztec. Done with the wall. Done with the wall. There are ways to engage the glutes that aren't just glute squeezes. Does anybody know some of them? How can we get the glutes to turn on without just doing a bunch of glute squeezes, which is lame? Bless you. No, huh? Blocks? What do you do with the block? Yeah, good one. So she said squeeze and you went like this. Correct. So you have been paying attention. When we put the strap around the knees and we push out, just because I'm sitting doesn't mean we're going to do a sitting move next. We're going to be on the floor. So when you push out on the strap, it recruits the glutes, responsible for abduction and outward rotation. Very good. When you put the block between your knees and we squeeze in, what are we working? Not sure? Go ahead and squeeze. Inner thighs, right? And that hip flexor that I'm always going for. That's why I'm saying groin, 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 groin. What about when you put the strap or the block around your ankles? So we just changed the direction that we go. Still the hips. Very right, Terry. Still the hips. Still the hips. Right. So when you put the block in between your ankles and you squeeze in, the hip wants to go out. So it actually is a butt move. So we're going to do this in the kneeling position. If you cannot, just like I was explaining and talking with Elena, if you can't do that, go ahead and lay on your back and you could push out on a strap. You'll get the same thing done, just in a different way. But we're going to trap the body in a kneeling position for those of you that can do it. I'm going to put the block in between the ankles. What I love about kneeling moves is that it takes the lower leg out of the equation and it forces the pelvis to work more evenly. So people like me who have one side of the pelvis that works differently than the other, hip lift, elevation, different tilts, this traps the body and forces it to do its work more evenly. If you can't get on your knees, no big deal. You could lay down on your back, put a strap around your legs and push out. Same idea. Or you could just do a bunch of glute squeezes. So I'm kneeling, knees are hip distance as usual, and I got my block in between my ankles, and I'm going to apply pressure to the block over and over and over again. I only have the chair in front of me so that I don't start doing something like this to keep my balance. I still want to stack the shoulders over the knees, over the hips.
I'm feeling like my heels want to push more. Did the whole foot be pushing?
Good call. Yeah, I like doing the whole foot, ankle, heel, instep, big toe, all of it's gliding in. Just like when we do those double doubles and double switch, when we got the strap on the knees and the block on the ankles, same idea here. Man, do I need this move. I feel it all in my left, like maybe like SI area. Because I know that side of my pelvis loves to tuck under from driving stick. So I'm doing like an air bench all the time on that one side. So that side loves to go posterior. And when you trap the body this way, it can't do that. It kind of pulls your pelvis into an anterior tilt, which is what I need on that side. So if somebody's got an anterior tilt already, and that's the direction their body likes to default towards, this can be painful. It can be. So if it is, don't do it. Don't do it. Does anybody feel one side doing something different than the other? I got a question for you two ladies. Why are you doing ankle squeezes while you sit in the chair? What conversation did we just have about an alternative for this move? What can we do to recruit the butt? You had the right answer. What was that move that you told me? What move can we do to get the butt to recruit? Pushing out on the strap. Right. So, do you think that it might be better to put a strap around your knees and push out on it than put a block between your ankles? Right, right. Do you have a strap?
No, I don't.
Okay. You can use mine because it's already all done. So I'm trying to kind of bring you along with the idea of how I pull these things apart so that you guys can know this for when I'm gone. So that's why I'm kind of trying to teach you at the same time and ask you all these questions like, what does that mean? What is that? So that you can understand an alternative for a move if you can't do it. A lot of times it's really, really simple to just go, well, what do I feel working? And then do a couple other moves and go, well, where can I also feel that working? And there's your alternative. There's another move that you can do. As long as it's trying to recruit the same muscles, there's a modification. Good. Now that you guys did that, we're going to switch. We're going to put the strap around the ankles. I'm going to start pushing out on that. How many of you felt your butt doing any work at all? Squeezing that. Yes. How many of you felt hamstring? It was on its way towards your butt. So if you take this move home, Eventually it will get into the butt. That's where it should be felt. When you do that ankle squeeze onto the block, it really should be the butt doing it. So if you got a hamstring kicking in or even a cramp, yeah. So just give it some more time and it'll probably kick on. When you push out on the strap, so I'm gonna really rip you guys apart, but lovingly. So both of you took the strap and put it down on your ankles, just like I told everybody to do. But they're in a kneeling position. So you guys had the strap around your knees to do work like they did with the, she's getting it. So now what would you do? She's starting to get it. So I would put the block on your ankles. Yes, the opposite, because you ladies are sitting in a chair and you're not kneeling, right? And once you do it, you'll feel it and you'll go, oh yeah, now I feel it. Because if we have a strap around our ankles, which direction are our hips going as we push out on the strap? Internal or external? In, right? So if these ladies are doing this sitting in a chair and they're not trapping, right? So you could even do that, sit there and put the block between your knees and do sitting knee pillow squeezes. Same thing, because it's going in. We're trying to get hip flexor now. Instead of butt, we're going for hip flexor. And it's all about the motion. Out, we're going to do butt. In, hip flexor, groin, inner thigh. Took my strap. Oh, God, you got that one, huh? I think it is.
Yeah,
Sorry.
I'll take that all.
Yeah, this one, I just forget it. Done. Free strap for anybody. Come and take it. Confused? It's only halfway done. All right. Can you do this kneeling ankle abduction press, whatever the heck you want to call it? Can you do it laying on the floor? Sure. Good answer. Sure you can. Sure you can. It's what we've been doing when I gave you the double-double and the double-double switch. So that's why I put the block in between your knees to make sure you don't start doing this when you're pushing out on the strap. This holds you in place. So now you push out on the strap. It's almost like being on the floor kneeling because it's trapped. It's trapped. So this holds you. Strap stinks, huh? Try that one.
I'm sure I didn't do it.
It's all right. So we're kneeling and we're pushing out over and over and over again on the strap. Now, what do you feel? Yes, it is. It's around your ankles. Hip distance. Hip distance. So this is just another way to do that double-double and double switch. We're just adding load to your hips. When you're laying on your back, not so much load, is there? Now we've got load. So this is almost prep work to come to a standing position. Is this making sense? So for somebody who can do double-double and double-double switch laying on the floor and like, okay, I'm good, good. Now do it kneeling. Now do it kneeling. And it's going to be a little bit of a different ball game. Anybody feel this right here? Right? Mm-hmm. Everybody remember what I tell you, all of these connection points, especially of that psoas, comes from the lower back into the pelvis and terminates right in the inner thigh, the upper part of the femur. So when you feel that, she said, right in my inner thigh and right in my lower back. What muscle is she working on? I know which one because I know where it connects. Oh, this feels so good. It's like such a good stretch. Oh, I don't want to stop, but I have to. We have to stop. I'm gonna come out and I'm gonna have you guys stand up. Why don't we do some good oldies like inline gluteal squeezes or just standing gluteal squeezes? Do some cool stuff like that. Finally, we did all the kneeling exercises I wanted to stuff in there. Now that we did all of that hip realignment crud, does anybody feel different now that they're standing up? A lot of new stuff today.
You're like Gumby.
It actually feels like Gumby. I feel like Pokey. I feel like goo. You feel stronger? Good, I like that. Good word. A little more stable, more grounded, that kind of strong.
Thank you.
You're welcome. You're welcome, Elena. Oh, I do too.
So flexible.
Good. It feels so flexible. And did we do a lot of stretching? Did we do stretching? Right. We didn't do stretching. We just asked the muscles to recruit properly. And then the other muscles go, oh, I don't have to be tight anymore. I can do my own job instead of everybody else's. Standing gluteal contractions, feet straight ahead, squeeze your butt over and over. Remember, don't use your belly. Over and over again.
Goodbye, everyone. I'm sorry, we have another appointment.
It's all right. It's been lovely.
Yeah. Holiday. Oh, I would love to see you, Carol. Don't forget. I will. Okay. Everybody be well. Stay healthy.
Thank you.
Thank you so much, Kim.
You're welcome.
Yes, you too.
Now let's turn the feet out. So we are everting the feet. So I'm not asking you to go straight ahead with the feet anymore. Feet are out now at 10 o'clock and 2 o'clock. Squeeze, release again and again. Oh, yeah. And turn the feet straight again. I know I always say try not to squeeze your belly when you do this. I have a tough time disconnecting glutes from thighs. So be mindful of that too. And my thighs will always turn on because I'm always trying as hard as I can. So I have to remind myself, dial it back. Just the butt, Kim. Yeah. Like many of us, I'm quad dominant. My butt is not doing the work. My quads are. That's why they're hard as a rock and my butt's a little flabby.
I can't seem to squeeze my butt without my thighs moving.
Right? Oh no, the thighs are going to move. So remember, that was a great point. So when you squeeze your glutes, Elena, which direction are we going as far as rotation? When you squeeze your glutes, which way are the hips rotating? You got it. Denise has got it. She's going out, right? Out. So when I catch people who have internally rotated knees, this is usually one of the first moves that I give them. At least it's a move I give them just to test and confirm that, yes, I'm right. And your glutes aren't able to recruit properly and the hip flexor isn't holding you in line. So I give them these squeezes and you'll watch the kneecap go whoop, 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 because glutes externally rotate. So your thighs are going to move. The whole femur should be moving. Turn the feet out again. But that external rotation shouldn't be coming from the quadriceps. It should be coming from the glute. And we want to try to keep the quads out of it. We want the butt to pull you into hip extension, not the knee, not the knee to hold you in knee extension. We don't want the quads to kick on. And that's a really tough one to unwind for me. And the only way I could do it is dial it back to like 30% or 20% of my effort. And just try just a little gentle squeeze. Then I've got all butt, no quad. I'm going to go one more time. We'll go straight ahead. Just give it a few more. We got 3 minutes left. Everybody notice how much harder it is to recruit your glutes when you turn your feet straight ahead, as opposed to when you're externally rotated? Harder. We're trying to coax that butt to squeeze just as hard when the feet are straight ahead, but it's tough.
Harder not to move the thighs.
Oh, yeah. Yeah. Because we're doing half the work just by already externally rotating. We're connecting that already. The butt's already on, and we're making the distance shorter. So it's like, no problem. I can go from here to there. Ask me to go from here to Carvel. It's a little different. Good. We're going to end it with a free squat, and I'll let you guys go. Feet stay straight ahead. You don't have to put the arms in front, but I like to do that and squeeze the shoulders back and hold a free squat. Again, I'm thinking of that S curve in the spine. Don't want your knees to dive in. Don't want your knees to dive out. The feet are hip distance. And I'm just coming into a squat. That's it. That's all it is. How about 3, 2, 1? Done. It's been lovely, guys. My full name at Gmail, you could always reach me. So I decide to move to another country or planet or something. Thanks, everyone.